not admitted without parents or guardian.
Better shake that arm, Daddy, shake that too. I said to shake, because our team is ready. I said to shake. Let's
The Pom Pom Girls.
Good evening, fans of fantastic films, and welcome to this week's Drive-In Asylum double feature. We've got a great, exciting guest star on tonight's program, Jennifer Ashley. And thank you so much for being here.
Hi, it's good to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're so excited to have you here because you've been in so many of the movies that we've shown already, and we're going to show 2 of your movies tonight. So,
That's great.
yeah,
I'm glad you like them.
oh man, I like them. That's mild. So we're super excited to talk about them, and so glad that you're here and as our chat room here. So, Bill, you want to start us off?
Well, the movie that we're showing first is the Pom Pom Girls, which of course had a very exciting theatrical release, especially in France, I hear.
Yeah. It was called Lâche-moi les baskets in French. Yes.
Which means like give up your shoes, give up your sneakers.
Give up your sneakers. Yeah. They loved it because it was so Americana, you know, they loved it. Oh my God. I went to the Cannes Film Festival and like the people from Lâche-moi les baskets brought me over and I went, there was like a couple movies I was in there and I couldn't walk down the street. It was like, it was insane. And, you know, back then, I don't know, there weren't like as much paparazzi, but there were plenty. I think the French are like with that crazy with all the paparazzi and, you know, people in movies. They just love it. I did a lot of press for it, whatever I could understand with the broken English, but it was really a lot of fun. I went to great restaurants. Food, they're so good. It was really a lot of fun. I got a lot of support.
And it outgrows Star Wars in that country.
Yes, it did. It did. It was so popular. You know, who knew, right? You never know. You never know with a movie. It was like so low budget. I think it was $1 million back then. Pom Pom Girls was about $1 million in the late 70s. And it made so much. I think 40 million, like immediately, right? It's like $40 million from $1 million. And back then that was a lot. Now a movie makes 40 million. It's like it goes away.
So, how did you go from you were going to college in Philadelphia, correct?
Yes, I went to Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science. I always loved being an actress, though. You know, like I've been in plays. Like I always wanted to be on the stage. Overnight camp, and then junior high school. I always did plays. There was something like I liked the smell of the stage. You know, like that funky, dusty smell of a stage. I don't know what, but probably I did something in my last life or something. But it was something that I really liked to do. And when I was really little, they would say, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" I go, "A model and a movie star." You know, I was all in my dreams, but I was in Philadelphia, so it was like way far out of my dreams. I mean, how am I going to get here? It was just almost like serendipitous how I got here. And it went from being in San Francisco. I had a job at Columbia Records, and American Zoetrope was upstairs. That's how I met Francis Coppola. But I was walking down the street, and someone looked at me and said, "You should be in pictures." I mean, just like, you know, like they at the what is the drugstore they used to back in the old times where they used to discover movie stars. What was it? It was like on Sunset Boulevard, that drugstore. So it was like almost like for me, and I just went for it. It was somebody that was trying to recruit people, a photographer for his workshop too, because he did TV commercials. And it was so funny because Joanna Cassidy was in the same group of people. She was ahead of me a couple years. And Tim Brown, one of the he was in there too. He was a football player at back. So he was in there, maybe a couple other people, I don't know, but I remember Joanna very well. We became really good friends. And then she went off to LA and they were teaching us how to become actors. So I did workshops. I found agents in San Francisco. I started doing print work. I did a couple TV commercials. So I got into this Screen Actors Guild, and they said you have to move to LA. So at that time, when I was married to, that was my ex-husband, we moved to LA for me, right? He was a doctor. I mean, he was just started out practicing, and we moved to LA for me. And I had such, I don't know, bravery. I remember wearing this short shorts and a tank top, and I had all my pictures. I walked into Cunningham and Associates. They were like the biggest commercial agent, and nobody was in the front desk. I walked back, and they signed me to do commercials. So I started doing a lot of commercials. And then how I ended up in Jack Gilardi's office at ICM, I don't even remember, but I went to him. And then from one thing led to another, I found another agent, a small agent, because they said start with a small agent, don't go with a big agent. So I got a small agent who put me in all these like little movies, like low budget films in the beginning. And eventually I did go with Jack Gilardi. So, but when I went, well, it was Goldstein and Shapiro when I was with Pom Pom Girls. And I remember they sent me on the audition, and I was a cheerleader in high school. So I was perfect for this part. I was a virgin, I was a teenager, I lived with my parents, and I was pretty naive. And that was Lori in the movie. And she always liked the cute football players. This is me back in high school. Same girl. We lived in the suburbs. It was so funny. My mom, she died a couple years ago, but she's English. And when she saw the movie, because the lady who played my mother was some kind of like a weird kind of suburban woman with a weird voice. And my mom said, "That's not me." It was funny. But yeah, it was that was really a lot of fun, and the cast was just the perfect chemistry. Everybody got along. We all hung out for months afterwards. We hung out in between shoots. Joe Rubin was always at my house. Bobby Carradine lived down the street, and we always had parties in between everything. It was just a really big success, and the screening was in Westwood at that theater where they had Titanic. It was like right there in Westwood Village where they have all the premieres. And there was a line of people to get in. I remember my whole acting class came there to support me. Everybody just clapped. You know, when you go to a screening and no one likes the movie and they're like, oh, okay, I've been there. This one, the opposite. Everybody was cheering and happy. And that's when I was approached by Towing Mara, who saw me in Pom Pom Girls. I don't know if there was a few screenings by then. I don't remember, but one of them, she approached me and said, we're doing a movie called Towing, and you'd be perfect for the character Jean. So I think that's when I switched to ICM, and they made the deal for me. And Tintorera was an ICM thing too. They put me with Susan George and Fiona Lewis. It was like an ICM package, a Jack Gilardi package. That's what they used to do. They used to package us with different movies.
Towing is just blew my mind when we talked earlier in the week and you told me about it, because I had never seen it. So I watched it and I was like, wow, this is like sort of a genre in and of itself. Like, especially the Pom Pom Girls wouldn't you say it's the same genre as American Graffiti and those types of coming of age films, I guess.
Towing was very interesting. It was filmed in Chicago, and Mara wrote the script, and she was the director, and we improvised a lot because we worked with the Second City Comedy Group, who was just so talented. I remember going to see them like, oh my God, these people are just the best. So they were all in the movie. Joe Montana, the sweetest guy in the whole world. And we did a lot of improvising. There's a scene, I don't know if you remember, I was in the soda shop and I'm trying to distract the guy.
Yeah.
So Bobby DeCicco can rob the store. And so that whole thing was made up. That was all improvised.
It's very loosely plotted. The scenes like meander off into other areas, which is like, it's great when you could pull it off. And I think you guys really did. I mean, a lot of that was based on both of your characters, you and Sue Lyon, being
Well,
able to carry that.
yeah, I have some trivia about Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert. Do you
Yeah.
remember them, Roger and Ebert?
Yeah.
They became fans of the movie. I think they're from Chicago.
Yeah.
So we became good friends, and Roger Ebert really promoted towing. Gene Siskel loved Pom Pom Girls,
Mhm.
obsessed with it. He took me to see Saturday Night Fever,
Wow.
Wow.
his favorite movie of all times, and explained to me everything what John Travolta was going through as he was walking down the steps, because he was with Diana Hyland or whatever at the time, and I think she died. So it was like we went to the movies to see Saturday Night Fever. I mean, lucky was I to go to see that with Gene Siskel, who taught me everything about that movie. But they were from Chicago and they were big fans of towing. They did everything to help promote it.
The soundtrack in particular is really interesting in towing.
What, towing?
Yes.
Towing.
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 That's not the kind of soundtrack I expected for towing. And it was all about getting this tow company who were illegally towing everybody's cars in the area. And like the first
Yeah.
thing in the movie is this angry scene in the office, and everyone's pissed at this dude because they have to pay $60 to get their
Right,
car back.
$60 cash, yeah.
You don't realize it at the time, but that's the catalyst for everything else that happens in the movie, because the
Yep.
people that were there like become involved with one another. And Joe Mantegna, by the way, is the other lead on that. I very stupidly couldn't place his face to his name earlier in the week. Now I know.
Yeah, Joe Montana. He's like he became really famous. He was on a TV show. He was a really nice guy. He worked with us. He was so nice. I don't think he was famous, but not that famous yet.
He was
And
Joey
he's from
Zasso in Godfather 3.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's from Chicago too.
It looked like a scary place in towing.
Long time ago, but I really enjoyed it. And then every time I had to go back to Chicago to do like voiceovers or whatever, I just couldn't wait to get back there.
Sam, I'm sorry, I was like kind of dominating the
Oh no,
questions.
I'm just
Go ahead, Sam.
I'm
Ask a question.
fascinated. I'm fascinated. You have some smaller parts in some movies I really love. You're in Terror Circus as one of the flower girls.
Oh yeah.
And we showed that on the show, and that's a favorite of our audience.
Yeah.
What was it like? That's a really early movie in your career.
I was with Rita Chandler at the time as an agent, and she just handed me the script. You're going to do this movie. I'm like, okay, I have to start somewhere. And oh my God, that was a nightmare. But Alan Rudolph was the director. I had to play like this deaf girl that turned into a deer, okay? And have changed around me, and they were feeding me like canned beef. It was disgusting. Dinty Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was disgusting. But he took me into his trailer and he says, let's talk about your character. I mean, you would think in like a horror movie where a girl is deaf and turning into a deer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have some kind of character. So that's what we did. It's like I was lucky to work with him. And one night, I remember that was low budget too. We had to drive ourselves to the set, and it was way out there, like in the desert, right? On the way back, I was driving. There was a torrential rainstorm, and my windshield wipers stopped working.
Oh.
Talk about scary. And I just remember driving at the side of the road. I don't know, how I got to a gas station where they could fix it, but it was nighttime. I don't even, that was scary. But that was, we had to drive ourselves to and from to Terror Circus.
Do you remember how many days you worked on that?
Probably a month. Probably a month.
Wow.
Andrew Prine was in it. Forget who else. There was a girl that was in it that was, there were these diet candies called AIDS.
I remember those.
Yep.
Diet chocolate candies she was addicted to those, and she kept eating these. the things that you remember. And it was during that time. Oh my God. But I'll tell you the worst. I don't eat meat, and they were feeding me Dinty Moore cold beef and carrots out of a can. So disgusting.
Ew.
But you had to like be disgusted. Got it like chains around me, and I was just like,
They gave
but
you
it
the
was the
worst
beginning.
kind of meat.
Yeah, us. Yeah. But it was the beginning. You have to start somewhere, right? So I took a lot of roles in the beginning because I wanted to just work.
You worked with
You're in
Andrew Prine again on the Centerfold Girls.
That was another one I said, okay, I'll do it.
What can you
It's so
tell us
funny.
about Andrew Prine? Like, what was he like on the set?
Andrew, he was just a nice guy. He just very helpful. Really, he was not full of himself. He was very helpful. He told me I had good instincts as an actress, and he to them was a big star in the movie. So, but he did show up, and he was there every day and acted like a professional. Like any actor should act like a professional.
Yeah.
I've been on set where actors were not professional.
In that movie, the subject matter was a little sleazy, so it's nice to hear that it was professional
yeah.
on set.
It was very professional. The worst part is me having to like disrobe a little bit. It was very, very uncomfortable. I didn't like it, but I did it. I think now that's nothing compared to what goes on in movies when people disrobe, right? This is nothing.
It was playful, we
Yeah,
watched the Centerfold Girls on the show, and there was nothing like terrible happening when you did the
No,
nude scene.
it was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to work on it.
Thomas in the chat asked, is it true Andrew Prine directed a few scenes in Terror Circus?
From Centerfold Girls?
He said in Terror Circus that he heard that Andrew Prine directed some of the scenes.
Oh, I think he did. Yeah, okay. I think he did. I'm trying to remember, but it was mostly, I know what it was. They had the producer do it in the beginning. Cormier, I think it was the producer. And then they brought in the other guy, and then he was there, and then, he came in to save the day. Because you don't get the producer who's probably never directed before to do a movie, right? You probably wanted to, he put his money in, and he goes, I'll direct it too.
It's a little harder than some people think.
Yeah.
What was it like being in Phantom of the Paradise? That's one of my favorite movies.
Well, that was good because I got to meet Brian De Palma.
Mm-hmm.
Gino Havens was the casting director, and he just brought me in. I said I just wanted to be in that movie. So he just brought me in with Brian De Palma, and I played a groupie. That was it. We were on that waterbed.
Yeah.
And my parents walked out. Oh my God. But that was fun. Paul Williams was really nice. Another nice guy.
I love that scene because it's such a great intro for him because they've hyped him up, and then when you finally do see him, it's like, oh wow, he's such a diminutive person to be surrounded by all these beautiful women. It's like it's very, very exciting when it happens.
I wanted to work with Brian De Palma.
Yeah. He's one of we talk about him on the show a lot. He's one of my favorite directors ever. Yeah. So it's especially that movie is filled with so much stuff. It gets nuts after with the multiple screens are happening at the same time. I just love Phantom so much.
I still get residuals from that.
Oh really? Wow. It was
like $1, $2.
Also, you're in an episode of Planet of the Apes, the TV series too.
Yes, I played Talia. That was interesting. I remember going to Fox, and they had to put me in that wardrobe. I played a person who was in love with this guy, and I met Roddy McDowell. He wasn't very nice. I worked on 2 movies with him. He was kind of distant, Then the second movie, Partners, I worked with him. He wasn't very nice. Sometimes people don't take young actresses seriously, so he kind of Ryan O'Neal was amazing.
Yeah,
nicest guy, but not Roddy McDowell.
Sorry. He blocked Rodney Dangerfield from being in the Academy of Motion Pictures, like how you get voting privileges, and he blocked Rodney Dangerfield from it. I remember reading that, and I'm like, he's like, well, he's not really an actor, and I'm like, he was in a couple of, really big movies, and then he apologized, and Rodney was like, nah, it's fine, I don't need to be in it.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then the other movie that I love that you're in Guyana, Call to the Damned. You're Stuart Whitman.
Yeah.
We don't have that today, where movies like a major event happens like that, and like 6 months later, there's a movie like torn from the headlines anymore. And that movie definitely does.
Well, that was the same people that did Tintorera.
Yeah.
And they called me. I remember them calling me on the phone at home and saying, "How would you like to play Jim Jones's mistress?" And it just happened, right? And
Yeah.
so I go, "Oh my God, of course," you know. And then right after that, the LA Times had an article. Her name was Maria Casardas, and it said, "Maria Casardas followed Jim Jones all the way to the end. She also helped administer the Kool-Aid at the end." That was something. We were in Mexico City, Cherubusca Studios. They made the exact duplicate of Guyana in the studio. It was so eerie. And the wardrobe people, there's a photo of all the dead people from like the sky, from a plane, with the colors of the wardrobe. That was our wardrobe. They got it from all the dead people from the photo. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a lot of night shooting, and it was eerie. One night I came back from shooting, and I go back to my hotel, and there was a major earthquake. I remember I'm in bed, and I hear the pool outside going, shh, 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 and I'm swaying with it. Go, oh my God, I'm going to die. But it stopped, and then the phone rang. It was my mother calling from Philadelphia. "Are you okay?" I go, "How did you know?" Right? How
With
did you
no
know?
internet.
Earthquake, yeah.
What was it like working for Rene Cardona and working in Mexico?
He was great. He was a really good director. He was very involved on both movies, and I liked him a lot. That's why I worked with him again, because he was terrific. He helped the actors, adored him. Tintorera was another quite an experience. We were on Isla Mujeres for a while, maybe 6-8 weeks. I don't even remember. We were there forever, and it was then a small island. I think now it's a tourist attraction, and oh my God, it was really nice. It was just so beautiful, and Jack Gilardi actually. They put us, when you're an actor, you're supposed to, in SAG, you're supposed to have your own room. Well, it so happened they put me with another actress who played my sister, which was fine because we got along. But I remember him calling them and saying, "Put her in her own room," so I did. And I got sick there because the food. But all in all, I enjoyed it immensely. It was really a lot of fun. They just let us go. Hugo Stieglitz, Andres Garcia. I got to learn all about the Mexican people. They're so lovely. They happy. They like to sing. We were. Oh, I remember too. We were filming outside and on the beach, and I was wearing a cover, and I got probably about 80 mosquito bites on my butt.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, right. Oh, that wasn't fun. But we were driving. Our van or whatever got stuck in some kind of mud. We were like stuck there for a while. So the crew came out with guitars and they started singing. It was like, all right, let's just have fun.
Wow.
How was that presented to you? Like, like when they sent you there, like, were they like, oh, because it's a Jaws cash-in, which, when we say these things, by the way, that they're sleazy and a cash-in, that means we love it.
Yeah.
That's the reason it's one of our favorite films.
It was one of those packages. Gerald Green was a producer. He wanted me in the movie. So they put like Susan George, me, Fiona Lewis, and then they just packaged us and sent us off there. And there's a plane, we had to get there by boat. So I don't know what it's like now. I have no idea. Actually, we went to Cancun. It was being built at that time.
Oh, wow.
But I wanted to do it. It was like I wanted to work. And I figured if Jack Gilardi wanted me to do the movie, then I'll do it. And then I'm thinking something can come from that. Because you don't never know who you meet. So what came from that was Guyana.
There's a couple other Americans in the cast, too. Priscilla Barnes is in that.
Oh, right. Yeah, Priscilla. Yeah, she had a small part in that. She was lovely, nice girl. Then what did she get? Three's Company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took over for Suzanne Summers.
Yeah.
As Chrissy in the...
Yeah, so she was in that too.
Yeah.
Laura Lyons, who was, I don't know if you remember from Playboy magazine.
Mm-hmm.
She played my sister. We became really good friends. Yeah, I haven't seen really anybody. I see Laura every now and then, but that's about it. Fiona Lewis and I are like friends on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
That's one of my favorite things about Tintorera is your character comes back. They introduce you, you kind of like are among the first people that Hugo and Andres like put the make on at the beginning, and then they have their threesome with Susan George for a portion of the film, and then
Yeah.
they're back partying with you and your girlfriend.
Crazy, huh?
That's what we like about that movie. It's like, because when you explain to someone, you're like, it's kind of Jaws, but it's really about like the makeout of like all these guys and their dating history.
It was about having fun on
Yeah,
a boat,
yeah.
and then people get eaten up by sharks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so different than any other Jaws movie that came out at the time.
Yeah, have fun, party on the boat, you know, and then they just roll the cameras.
You're in the scariest scene in the movie, which is probably one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a movie like this, where there's a live shark in the water with you.
Well, they edited that, of course,
Okay.
but they, from what I remember, and I don't know, I'm not liable for this, but from what I remember, one of the producers told me that they used bodies from the morgue and threw them in the water, and the sharks ate them.
Oh wow.
That's how they got the footage. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty gross. I'm like, okay, unless that's a lie. I don't think so.
I hope not. There's donating your body to science, and then there's donating your body to be in a shark movie.
Well, you know, back then Mexico was a little bit different. It was a little different. I remember there was a director named Pedro. I don't know, a famous Mexican. He shot an actor on the set and didn't go to jail.
Wow.
So stuff like that would happen there.
Ooh.
But I'm sure it's different now, but this is like years ago. So maybe they did stuff that was, you know, a little different back then.
What was it like working with Norman J. Warren for Inseminoid?
Oh, well, he was lovely.
Yeah.
That was, what happened after a lot of this, I decided to go with an agent. I'll tell you, Jack Gilardi was so mad at me, but I was going from, I said, you know, I need an agent who's in Europe. I don't know why I was thinking that. And I went with Robert Husson, and he put me in, it was also, I didn't have to read for it, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like reading for movies. I just like being put in there. They should just trust me, right? So we did Inseminoid, and I'm half English. So I go, oh my God, I get to work in London for 6 weeks. How fun, right? And I stayed at this amazing hotel called Blake's in London. They picked me up. I'd have my outfit on that I had, my wardrobe, like I was commander of some spaceship. And they picked me up, and we drove to Chislehurst Caves, which was out in the English countryside. We had to go in these caves all day long. It was chilly, but it was like, and that was where they built the set in a cave. That was pretty eerie in itself as well.
It was pretty effective. I mean, for a low budget.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of wardrobe, I was going to ask you. I've noticed it, and I think Bill talked to you about it. You have the same Boy Scout shirt that you wear in Tintorera, and you also wear it in the Pom Pom Girls. So was that you bring your own? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny. I remember that Boy Scout shirt.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, and I was like, "Is that?" And then I felt like the creepiest fan when I saw it. I'm like,
That's funny.
Same outfit from Pom Pom Girls." But yeah, it's like, so we always wonder, like, how did people get these outfits for some of these movies?
Well, Pom Pom Girls, I like clothes, so they came into my the closet and picked my wardrobe out from my own clothes.
Oh wow!
And with Tintorera, I wear my own clothes, wear my own babies. It's like they do have wardrobe people, but if they like your stuff better, they'll use yours.
Yeah.
With Inseminoid, I had to wear their stuff.
Yeah.
Because that was not my style.
In the future. The future.
But that's funny, Linda Ronstadt was famous at the time. Well, she's still. She used to wear those Boy Scout shirts too when she would perform. It was big at the time. I think it's probably back again.
The other movie that I really enjoy you in is Chained Heat. I love that movie. And
yeah.
What was that? That just seems like it's such a movie that's like way better than it should be. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like it's really funny in parts too.
Well, let's see. I was going through a divorce, and I went in to read for Grinder. I've been going to acting class. It's like I never stopped, right? You have to continue working on your craft. So he says, pretend you're in a jail and you can't get out. And how would you react? Well, I went crazy. I got the part. He was smoking a cigar and he goes, "You got the part." Yeah. So I got a grinder, and then we had to get a trans lady to play one of the characters in there because I had to take off the wig and pound it on her head. So we went to La Cajo Fall, which back then in LA was a supper club with, with guys that dressed up, and, it was it was really a lot of fun. And this guy who played Julie Andrews at La Cajo Fall became the person that I beat up his name was, I think, Kelly or whatever, but Julie Andrews, the one who played Julie Andrews, I picked her out, and we became good friends. I was really fun. I don't know if you remember, Shane, where I'm pounding I took the wig off and started pounding. Oh my God. My hair was like out to here. It was also my own clothes. And we worked in a defunct prison. So that was also eerie. They found a prison that nobody was in. Oh, it smelled horrible.
Oh.
But that's where we worked. And then Linda Blair and I became friends. She was dating Rick James at the time.
Oh, wow.
Are you still in touch with her?
No, we were in touch, but I haven't. I mean, if I would see her or talk to her, we'd be like friends. She was awesome.
Yeah.
Sybil Danning was in it. Stella Stevens.
It's I've watched it probably too many times. I've watched it so many times. I enjoy that movie a lot. So I'm excited to hear some of the stuff about it.
I have to admit, though, I hadn't seen the Pom Pom Girls in a long time, so I went back and I watched that this week too. And I'm into that movie because it's like the real Dazed and Confused, which I know Dazed and Confused was sort of emulating that whole genre. Yeah. But wow, I was and the print on Tubi is all scratched. It's just like you're watching it at a drive-in.
Oh, when I was driving that Mustang and I almost ran somebody over, that was real. When the thing stopped. A lot of that was just a lot of spontaneous as well. Just like they kept it in the movie.
Wow. I love it too, because it feels very innocent compared to some of the other cheerleader style movies that came out in the 80s.
Oh yeah. It was very well done. I was a cheerleader. It took me no time to learn shake. That
Did you help the other girls with the routine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just so easy for me.
The movie came out in March 1976, which was, I found this ad for a sneak preview. And they don't tell you in this ad that you're going to see the Pom Pom Girls, but then another part of the newspaper gave it away. There it is.
Oh, God, yep. They had that also in the TV time. Any time I saw that, I cut it out because they had it in the LA Times, TV Times. Oh my God, Pom Pom Girls, yeah. And I think it was they even put it on Channel 5 at one time. This
has an interesting tagline in it. It says, it's the American graffiti of the 70s.
Right.
As if American graffiti wasn't in the 70s, too. I mean, it was just a couple years ago. It
was. That was the first thing I auditioned for.
Oh, really?
I remember, I met Francis Coppola because I worked downstairs at Columbia Records. And I screen tested for the director of American Graffiti. They really liked it, but I wasn't experienced. I never did a movie before. Mm-hmm. So, but I thought, your 3 minutes are up. That's the same casting people put me in another movie. Your 3 minutes are up. Which I had a small part, but it was good. Bo Bridges and Ron Liebman.
I think that's a B feature in one of the ads that I'm gonna show. Your 3 minutes are up. So it was a Jennifer Ashley double feature.
Oh, it's funny. I had a small part in that, but they were really nice. I liked them a lot. And partners, Ryan O'Neal. I played a secretary because I was once a secretary for a minute. And I remember sitting too long. I hate, I'm more active. But I remember sitting, you have to go back and think, what was it like to be a secretary? But I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed doing that. Except Roddy McDowell wasn't very nice. But Ryan O'Neal was.
Here's the Pom Pom Girls in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
From 1976, September of 1976, by the time it came here.
Wow. That's crazy.
Oh, someone in the chat, Thomas Ellison, asked what your memories of Cheryl Rainbow Smith were.
Oh, yeah. Girls. We liked Rainbow. She had a daughter. I think she had a daughter, baby at that time, or a daughter, a small child. but I think she died, right? Rainbow
Yeah.
died. She was great. We were all friends. She kind of, I guess after the movie, we didn't see much of her, but she was really nice. I liked her a lot. We were friends. But that's all I can say about Rainbow. Because she wasn't in it that much. Was, not like Lisa Reeves was, but she was in it like part of the time. So we got to know her. Like Susan Player, I got to know more. And she was with Al Jarreau at the time.
Oh wow.
And I never heard of him, right? And because, I never knew jazz. I rock and roll, that was it. So Al Jarreau would come to the set and to see Susan. The nicest guy, I'm saying everyone's nice. He was just lovely. And then we got to see them afterwards at some point. Like they'd come to my house or The Man Who Loved Women. I don't know if you remember that. I played Burt Reynolds' mother when he was 6, and she was a hooker. So I worked with Blake Edwards.
Oh wow.
It was pretty, and Julie Andrews' masseuse was on the set. Get the masseuse. Oh, look at the puppy.
Vivi wanted to come say hi to Jennifer Ashley.
Hi, I love dogs.
I saw on your Instagram you had some that looked a little like Viv.
I have 2 dogs. Yeah, Tank and Candy. Tank. Yeah, I know he's eating food like crumbs off the floor. I used their wardrobe for The Man Who Loved Women, but when I dressed up, I had like this 40s outfit, and I just dressed the part. And I remember getting the part like right away. But she was a hooker mom, and then there's a scene where I'm in a bathtub looking at my son. It was kind of like, what's she thinking? It was very weird. But Blake Edwards just told me to do my thing. He didn't say do this, do that, do this. He just do your thing. He says that's why we hired you. Just do your thing.
Wow.
Unlike Alan Rudolph, wanting to do a character from a girl that turns into a deer. So
Do you like improvising? Do you prefer that, or?
I love improvising. It's kind of fun. You have to follow the script, but then you get into situations where it's better to just improvise back and forth, and they keep it in the movie. But I think there's rules. We have to follow the script for the writer's guild. I don't know. But it depends whose production it is. Because sometimes they won't let you.
All right, I think we're going to take a short break and do the themed cocktail for the Pom Pom Girls. Jennifer, it'll just be 2 minutes, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Okay. Alrighty.
Give me a D.
D.
Give me an I.
I.
Give me an A.
A.
Drive-In Asylum.
Yay!
What is it spelled?
Drive-In Asylum. Welcome to the Pom Pom Girls drink. Sex under the Hardin High School bleachers is what it's called. This is an experiment, just like when you're in school. Instead of
Tells
experiment,
me we need the blender. I'm like, no, we don't.
so we got vodka, ounce of vodka, ounce and a half triple sec, ounce of Kahlua. How's that work? I don't know. Ounce of blue curacao, ounce of simple syrup, and a kiwi.
Where'd you get this from?
The internet's. Look good. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Jury's out. Hopefully someone else will make it. Other than me.
This is a green drink. There's brown and blue, and he gets green.
Do you like Listerine?
Yeah.
It's going to be totally green because there's a kiwi. Tell him, Cubby.
He says no blenders.
No blenders. All right. It's been fireworks and blenders all day for Cubby.
He's over it.
He's over it. Get over it. Here we go.
Now see, this fits on here
Yeah.
just so no leaking comes out.
Okay.
Not baby, just slaps it down anyway. It's
All right. What do we want to try it on? We got mix, grate, blend, liquefy. I think blend.
blend.
All right. If you're at home, you might want to turn on your speakers. I think this is the closest I've gotten to Pazuzu on one of the drinks. This is totally Pazuzu. I feel like your mother watches Pom Pom Girls in Hell. Oh, that's what I'd be saying. Look at that.
Oh, it's a smoothie.
It's a smoothie.
All right, full.
All right, Pazuzu. Here
It's
we
like
go.
a health shake.
Here's a wild pear.
You just made a face.
Good pear.
You made a face on camera.
No, good taste, because it's weird. I like it, but it's like,
It
imagine.
looks like the stuff in Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, imagine kiwi and chocolate together. It's a complex
Probably
taste.
not good.
It's good. It's a complex taste. Maybe not everybody's ready for. Maybe I'm not ready for it, but I like it. All right, Zuzu, let's get to the movie.
Pazuzu
Zuzu.
to all of you, and thank you so much to Jennifer Ashley for being on the program tonight. It has been a joy talking to you about these fantastic films from the 70s and
Another
80s.
doggy.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
Tubby.
He's the one that you hear barking in the background.
Yeah.
Oh.
He was worried that his mom was in the shower and he couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So he was freaking out a little bit. So.
Well,
So-
I just want to tell them it was the Guyana movie with Stuart Whitman.
Mm.
It wasn't Powers Booth.
Yes. Yeah, because the Powers Booth TV movie came out right around the same time.
That came out. That was on TV.
Yeah.
This was in the theaters.
Yeah.
It's what?
It's the better of the two movies. Yours is, not just because I'm a huge Stuart Whitman fan. He's one of my favorite actors. So.
Yeah, he was good. He was awesome. Yeah, that was something.
Yeah.
John Ireland, Bradford Dillman,
Yeah.
Yvonne DiCarlo wasn't nice.
Oh,
That doesn't surprise me. She was still bitter
That's
about the
okay. I
Monsters
thought it
being
was-
canceled.
My dogs are here now. Hey, doggies.
So I read that you're an abstract artist. Is that true?
Yes, I painted aliens,
Mm.
spiritual things. Yeah, so I do art. Yes, like to get them to Elon Musk somehow, but they'd be good on covers of like record albums. Actually, very interesting art.
Can people find your art online? Do you have a website?
Not for that. No, they're in storage right now.
Sam, anything else you want to ask Jennifer before we go?
I've
to the
asked
first
so many questions, so I'm super
That's
excited
okay.
to
Well-
learn everything tonight.
I just thank you for having me. You know, we can do it again. But I really appreciated you guys enjoying my work, and it really made me feel good. So I appreciate it.
And I think everybody out here is excited because we're going to watch two of the movies tonight. So
Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
we're going to watch Pom Pom Girls and Tintorera tonight. So
Yeah.
we'll get to appreciate your work in these. And now knowing some of the behind the scenes stories, it's going to be a lot different
Okay.
watching.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
The Pom Pom Girls is streaming live on Tubi. And
Ooh.
so you can watch that at the end of the countdown, start the movie, and then we'll be back afterwards. Jennifer won't be back, but Sam and I will be back, and we'll have lots more to say about Pom Pom
Thank
Girls.
you. You guys stay in touch.
Definitely.
We definitely will. We're going to get you back on the program again somehow.
Okay, I love it.
Okay.
All right. Have a good evening.